Allie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a tea spill episode, which if you don't know because I haven't done one in a while, is basically I talk about how much I love my Sips by tea subscription service, and I also spill some tea, but not really. Things that might upset some people. I did one when I talked about why I'm not really using Goodreads and things like that. Into this today, I'm going to talk to you guys about my November and my December Sips by subscriptions. I'm going to tell you a little bit about those, and then we're going to talk about books that I DNF'd in 2019. Now, I do have my tea ready to go. It matches my new wig. It's pink and it's cute and it's beautiful. And all I really want to do right now, I just made brownies. All I want to do is just eat brownies and drink hot drinks and watch Christmas movies. So, Sips by, it's a monthly tea subscription box, and at this point, it doesn't matter if they would send it to me. I would probably still buy it because I love it so much. You go on, you sign up, you have like a personality quiz, you tell them what you like and what you don't like in your teas, and then they send you 4 curated teas each month, and there's at least normally 4 samples of the teas in the box, and then there's normally a coupon code. It tells you the caffeine levels and things like that. I've done Bujo spreads on this because I really love it. So first of all, I'm going to talk about my November box. And one of the first things that made me nervous was we got some sort of mushroom tea, and I don't like mushrooms, so it better not taste like mushroom. But apparently in Asia, this stands for immortality, and it's about health and wellness, and like, I ain't going down with the sickness this year. So I will try it eventually, but it makes me nervous, I'm not gonna lie. So we also have peach matcha in this one, and I have never had matcha ever in my life, and it does have instructions on it, which is really interesting. So I'll have to check that out. I'm intrigued. And there was also these super cute, these are upbeat tea, and this packaging is so cool. Basically, these have beets, but it also has like green tea, and I think a few other things, hibiscus. I don't think they're gonna taste awful, hopefully. I would hope not, but they also seem like they might have some good healing properties in them. And then we also have organic Kingston Earl Grey was in this one as well. And this is a smaller sample size than we normally get, but they also come with bags if you don't have any. These are nice. Super excited about. I could not pick which one to test today. So we have these Dragon Eye teas, which just sounds so kick-ass. Oh my goodness, Dragon Eye, what is that? I'm assuming that it's some sort of plant. I don't know, but it sounds so cool. Also had this rose hip, hibiscus, and cherry one, which sounds pretty good too. It sounds like a pretty typical kind of tea party type of tea. And then what I was really excited about is that as soon as I saw these shiny caramel vanilla, I just made caramel chocolate brownies, so I think this is going to go really well. I've got them ready to go. So I'm pretty excited about this. They come in these beautiful shiny packages. I was so excited. This sounds so good. I read this on the thing. I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So what I have discovered from this company are these things called tea drops. They came in my subscription one month. And basically they are these little teas, and they are put like this, and you literally just drop them into hot water. Yes, there's going to be some sediment at the bottom, but they are so good. You don't need to add anything to them. They are so good on their own. They are so darn cute. These are in hearts. I know they have different shapes and stuff, but these ones are the blueberry. Stinking cute. I've had the mint ones before, and I absolutely love them. That I've actually bought some after the fact because they're so good. Let's talk about some books that I DNF'd. Now, this is mostly off the top of my head. I kept a list, but I didn't keep up with the said list. So let's just originally I tried to make excuses and say that, like, okay, this tea is great. It just hit me. It's so good. Oh my goodness. It's so smooth. Like, I never really realized what that meant until I just drank this. This is so good. It's like a treat. The vanilla is very abundant. Let's talk about some recent ones for me. So a really recent one is actually a wedding in December. A winter wedding, a wedding in winter, a wedding in Christmas. I think it's a wedding in December. I don't know. I'll show you guys the cover. But I was trying really, really hard to do a reading vlog based around where I would read like 5 Christmas romances, and I ended up, like, I wasn't really liking any of the books that I was getting into, but this one did me in. I just couldn't do it. It was the reason, like, I gave up on the video because I just was entering a slump from all these, like, not so great books, and they just weren't getting me in the Christmas spirit on top of that. And this one was so ranty in my opinion. Like 3 women, it's the mom and then the 2 daughters. We're following them, and basically the mom and the dad are getting a divorce, but they don't want the kids to know, even though they are grown adult women. They don't want them to know, so they are going to the youngest daughter's wedding and pretending like they are still together. The youngest daughter is marrying a man that she has known for like 4 whole months, and they have decided they're getting married in like a week on Christmas basically. And then the older sister wants to come and ruin the wedding because she thinks her sister is making a terrible mistake, but there's some man that keeps getting in her way. So romance probably ensues, but I read up to halfway through this book and nothing, absolutely nothing had happened. There was no romantic intentions from like anyone. I was like, this is just not, it's not working for me. And it was just a long list of what ifs basically throughout the whole book. And it wasn't just like, what if this happens and what if, it was literally 800 questions of what ifs, and I just couldn't anymore. I just couldn't do it. I was like, there's nothing festive about this. There's nothing romantic about this. I don't care. I DNF'd that, and I am for sure DNFing that because I tried to make it through. So then kind of on the romance thing, it might be because I just haven't been in the mood, but I was thinking about it and I DNF'd these for good reason, and I think that they can be considered actual DNFs instead of just like, I'm gonna not read this right now and I'll pick it up later, because I don't count those as DNFs necessarily. Now that doesn't mean at some point I might not in the future, because I once said I was never going to read Shatter Me, and then I did, which was still terrible. But still, I might in the future change my mind. But right now these are DNFs, they're categorized as DNFs, and I don't want to touch them anymore. So also recently I had tried to read The Flat Share. So this was a Goodreads nominee. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. It seemed interesting. It's basically about a woman who is living with her ex-boyfriend, and she knows that she's got to get out because he's got a new girlfriend. It's actually like his fiance. So she needs to get out, obviously. So she's looking for a place, and one of the only places is this really cheap flat, but she has to share it with a guy, and they will sleep in the same bed but at different times. So basically he is at work during the night when she would sleep, and when he comes home during the day it would be when she's at work. So they shouldn't really see each other. There shouldn't really be much of an overlap. And he has a girlfriend. So going into this, there was a few red flags because I didn't get much further on the information than that. I'm assuming that romance ensues. From where I was at, I wasn't enjoying some of the things that I could see coming ahead. First of all, we follow her point of view as well as his point of view, but he is so robotic in his dialogue of it. It's very to the point. It's like, I walked to the kitchen, I made tea, then I sat down, I listened to my girlfriend, she was funny. Like, that was it the whole time, and that's not entertaining, right? And I guess they were trying to get some point of his personality across, but the personality to me was blah. So that wasn't working for me. And then on top of that, I don't like the fact that he already has a girlfriend. And something weird, I don't know. Like, I don't know if at some point maybe the girlfriend did something wrong, but I don't tend to like books that you know are going to be a romance and the characters are beginning in a different relationship. I don't tend to like those very much. Either already have them broken up, or I don't. Anyway, so let's continue on. Next is The Right Swipe, which is about a woman who runs a dating app, and she decides that she wants to get in. There's another dating app, one of the founders has passed, and she wants to go and like scope it out and see if she can work her way in and maybe, you know, also run that company as well. So she goes to kind of this big event where they're like kind of talking about it and some of the changes that are going to happen, and one of their new spokesperson is like a famous, but basically she realizes that she had a one-night stand with him and it was fantastic, but he never called her back. You also get his point of view, and you realize very quickly that there's been a massive misunderstanding and there's been a massive miscommunication. Miscommunication probably didn't really need to happen, honestly. So it was just really frustrating. I don't think I could enjoy the rest of the story, whether it was resolved quickly or not. I don't think that it would be, But I don't think I could go forward knowing that, because it was a miscommunication that didn't really make any sense. She was basically like, she's like this strong, independent woman, but she has this one night stand with this guy and thinks that they're like madly in love, basically. Even though she says that she doesn't. She acted like he did this terrible sin because he didn't call her back immediately, even though he has his reasons. And then she just was like, blocked him and hated him and all this stuff after like a week. Nah. So one of the biggest DNFs that is coming to my head that I remember quite clearly because it was a big, oh, nopey nope, is Unnatural Volume 1. So this kept getting recommended to me on Hoopla, and the artwork seems really cool, and it's basically like an animalistic society, and it's about this pig woman, basically, who keeps having these dreams about like this wolf being that, like, they're very sensual dreams, and this is an erotic graphic novel to my understanding. She keeps having these like sensual dreams, but the whole overall storyline, I couldn't honestly tell you what it was about. It was so weird, and I just kept picturing different animals doing it, and I wasn't into it. It was not working for me. If that's your thing, that's your thing, but I can just tell you right now, it was not working for me, and I did not like it. I didn't like the storyline. I didn't really like the things happening, so there's that. Oh, there was The Truth and Other Lies. I had tried to listen to this, and it's basically this guy. He is an author, and he's quite well known for these books, blah, 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 like he's like a bestseller, I think, something along the lines of that. He's famous for his books. From the synopsis, you know that his wife has died, and his wife was actually the one writing the books. So now he doesn't have anyone to write the books for him. You also find out, first thing off the bat, that he is a mistress. And basically, while his wife sits at home and writes his books for him all day, he is out with his mistress. So I had listened to an hour of this audiobook, and the wife hadn't even died yet, even though we knew that from the synopsis. And this isn't a very long book. It's only a couple hours. Like, it's not long. And within a good quarter of it, there's nothing. Nothing has happened except for he's a douche canoe who uses his wife as a tool and doesn't even see her as like a real woman. And I honestly do not know what the point of the story was. I don't know if there was supposed to be a redemption on her part at some point, like something happens to him or he is like called out for like the things that he has done. But I just didn't see where the story was going. It was extremely uninteresting and uncomfortable to read. Also DNF'd Anonymous Girl. So I didn't really like The Wife Between Us, but this one really intrigued me because it's about this woman who goes for like, she signs up to get money for like these psychological tests. But I think that the doctor who is watching her becomes way more intrigued than they should with her. And basically, like, she's agreeing to go do all these things and meet these people based on this, like, test and stuff. And I honestly don't really know. Apparently, at some point, it switches over to, like, the doctor's point of view. But I don't remember enjoying it enough. And I was just like, can we get to the point? Like, it was just a lot of bland, pointless, like, her talking about life and the meaning of life to this, like, computer. And I was just like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I don't know. There was like hints that maybe she was supposed to be having an affair with, I don't know. I still not too sure. And then I DNF'd, I actually tried the arc of, was the Storm Crow. It's not necessarily that this wasn't an interesting story, but just nothing gripped me. There was nothing calling to me about this. The world is beautiful. It's a very interesting world. It's about these different crows that like do things for the land, and basically this kingdom suffers greatly one day when they are attacked from a different kingdom thing or whatever, and they come and they kill all the crows. It's destroyed, and they have like no way of doing anything because they relied on these crows to do basically everything. I mean, they controlled the weather and the crops and their metals and like everything, and now they have nothing. And this follows I believe she's like the princess maybe, but she was getting ready to get her own crow on the night that everything happened, and her mother dies, and of course the responsibility comes down to her and I think her sister, and then the prince from the people that kind of destroyed everything that they have comes, and they are supposed to be married. And she's giving him a tour and telling him about the crows, and she's like very highly suspicious of his motives there and why he wants to know these things. Then on top of that, she finds an egg and it has one of the crows in it that apparently have gone, they're all dead except for this one, but she can't figure out how to hatch it. So it's an intriguing storyline. It seems like it will be, but there was just nothing new, nothing original, nothing that really gripped me. I mean, yes, the crow thing is kind of new, but at the same time, like, we've seen elemental magic and things like that, but it's just manifested in a different way. But there was just nothing that really got me. There was no big action. There was, like, what were we working towards? I don't know, like, it just wasn't working for me. Honestly, I think that's kind of it, which you guys might think is dumb or weird, I don't know. But I think that's it, mostly because I feel like I'm really getting a hang of what I like in books and what I don't, and I don't really spend enough time in them to DNF them necessarily. Like, I'll just read the first few pages, and if I know it's not for me, then it's not for me. These are all things that I feel like I gave a considerable amount of time to. It's not a long list, but I feel like that's a good thing because that means I'm actually reading things that I enjoy, for the most part. There's a few Stephen Kings I wish I would have DNF'd. Don't forget to check out Sips By. I do have a code so you guys can get a discount if you'd like. And yeah, I hope that you guys have liked this video. Let me know some of the books that you guys have DNF'd within the past year. I'm intrigued. Don't forget to subscribe to see future videos from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Bye!